Sneakers and Stories, a podcast from Pint of Stuff with Mr. B and SJ.
Yo. So we're back on the podcast again, everybody. Thanks for joining us and listening, whether you're on YouTube or all your favorite podcast platforms. So yes, we are a podcast that talks about sneakers and stuff. I've done that joke. It's not really a joke, but I've done that. It's not a joke so many times. But we've got somebody who's been in our community now for quite a while. It feels like he's been in our community from day one. Rather than it seems, we were just chatting to him before we were recording this, only 12 months, but I tell you, it feels like 4 years. So we've got JDolan, that's how we know him, on the line. So, John, I think actually, what should we call you? Should we call you John? It feels weird to call you JDolan.
John's fine.
Oh, cool. I know, it's just funny. It's just that you get
JD?
to...
Or JD. I was JD through school, so...
JD special.
Yeah.
SJ, come on. So it's great to have you on the podcast with us this week. I think we're getting into a bit of a groove now.
Slowly.
Yeah, they've been really good.
Thank you. It's and certainly we see you seem to, over the last few months or so, seem to have been packing a fair bit of heat. You seem to cop quite regularly.
You've been lucky.
Lucky.
It does seem like that.
Yeah, for sure. But obviously we've seen many shoes over the last 12 months, but you know how this goes now, I hope.
Yeah.
And hopefully the people who are listening out there know how this goes. You know, we are about to ask the opening salvo of a question. SJ?
What is your first sneaker memory?
It's really back to high school, really. So mid-90s. I didn't have any decent sneakers at all, really. It was basically whatever I could get hold of. So I think the first pair of sneakers I ever remember were a pair of JDolans, some sort of tennis shoe or something.
Okay.
So yeah, and I seem to remember the tennis brand Wilson. I'm sure they made a shoe, and I'm pretty sure I had one of those as well. So
yep, they did.
They did, didn't they?
Yeah.
So I had a fair few tennis shoes, which were not really out of choice. It was what my parents bought for me. So so I went through a whole of school really just wearing what I was bought, which was a shame because all my mates were wearing Adidas, like Gazelles and Campuses and Sambas, and that was where my sort of love for Adidas was. All my mates wearing that sort of stuff.
I can feel that.
No one in my school really wore Nikes.
Really?
So it was it was sort of like the nerdy kids had all the campus and all the Adidas stuff.
Yeah.
And then all the cool kids were Reebok Classics. That was what was through my school.
Wow.
So all the cool kids had Stone Island and Reebok Classics. That's what they wore. So, and the only people who wore Nikes were the tearaways in their white or black Air Max 90s.
Wow.
So it was weird. No one really had any Nikes or anything like that. So
I wonder why that is. Like,
I don't know.
That's I don't know. Like I suppose you've watched those sneaker history videos on YouTube. There's one that talks about the North-South divide and how Adidas just somehow got this foothold. It was part of the culture. And I wonder if that was it. I don't know. It's a funny one.
It might be. I mean, I'm from the Midlands, so I live in a county town, and there's in reality there's no one around here that is into sneakers. I've never seen anyone wearing Jordans or anything like that around here at all. I'm probably the only person who wears a Jordan 1 or anything like that, or anything that's decent at all. So I'm in the minority around here, which makes it very difficult, or made it very difficult to get trainers back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
I just want to. I mean, I think that's a shout out to the internet for enabling many people to get into this, because I think
it is definitely, because I mean, I've got big feet, so I'm a size 13, and I've been a size 13 since I was about 14.
Wow.
So yeah, so I've only probably ever bought, since the size 13, I've probably only ever bought 3 pairs of shoes in the shop, because no shops really stock it.
Mm-hmm.
But do you remember Brantano, the massive shoe chain?
Yes, I do.
I remember going into a Brantano once, and they used to have all their shoes stacked in size. So you used to go on, and it'd be like a section of size 5s.
Yeah.
Right at the back, they used to have a real tiny section which was size 13s and over. And that's where I always used to go. And that was the first pair of sneakers I ever bought for myself and from there. And it was a pair of Cortezes.
Nice.
So that was the first pair of sneakers. A decent pair of sneakers I had was a pair of Nike Cortezes. And I loved them.
And do you still have them?
Unfortunately not. No, they were beaten into the ground. And then I went back about a year later, and they had another pair with the black swoosh instead of the red swoosh I had, and got another pair.
Nice.
So
nice.
2 pairs of Cortezes. That's where it all started from, really.
That's not a bad start, I have to say. That's not a bad start. You know, that is a classic shoe.
Classic. It was a classic, yeah. And it was only 50 quid as well.
That's a bargain.
It was a bargain.
That's
very much
definitely a bargain. No, it's funny because, like, for a long time, I've said this many times, I always thought I had just weird feet. I didn't realise for a long time that shoes came in half sizes, and that you could get them, and so it's the same kind of thing of just like just finding if you didn't live in London or Liverpool, Manchester or Birmingham, it's just difficult to get shoes. Certainly back in the day, it definitely made it more of an effort, didn't it, SJ?
It did, but then it feels like it's an effort now as well. To be honest.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
for other reasons.
Well, I did a trip to Birmingham a few months ago, and I thought Birmingham's a big city. It would be quite easy for me to get something in my size, but no, everyone goes up to size 12, and that's pretty much where they stop.
Yeah, my friend Rich, he's got the same problem as you. It's exactly the same sneaker size, although, like you, he does tend to luck out on quite a few of the draws. So he's been able to get, like, he got the Travis Scott Jordans. He's done really well recently because of the size.
I can see that. Like, I've seen you win some like pretty heavyweight shoes over the last few weeks or so, or it seems that way.
It does seem that way, yeah. I've definitely missed out on quite a few as well, though. I mean, the strange loves. Still wish I'd got those.
Yeah, well, you're in the same position as me. Not many skate stores stock smaller sizes, and they don't stock the big sizes because, from what I understand, they have to buy in like a pack of sizes. So most of them go from like a 7 to a 12.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they'll get the stuff they can sell, won't they? Really ready, easily and quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Greg told us that.
Oh, yeah. Actually, a skate store owner did tell us that. That's why he never bought half sizes, which is always a frustration of mine. Always the frustration.
They would never go for the unpopular sizes. So, hence the internet has been a massive blessing for me.
Definitely. So, so we talked about that sneaker memory. So you've clearly built up a bit of a collection over the last few years.
Well, actually, we don't know whether that was the last few years. When did that collection building begin for you?
Yeah, that's a good question, SJ. That's a good question.
Okay. I had a small collection back in the late 90s.
Right.
And it was basically, so I had some Onitsuka Tigers, Adidas Titans, Superstars, because I was hugely into it. I mean, music influenced my choice of shoe quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I was massively into a band called Korn.
Yep.
Who really heavily promoted Adidas stuff, and so I was heavily influenced by them. And then they signed a deal with Puma, so I started buying Puma. So Puma suede, Puma baskets.
Yep.
So I had a few of those as well. And then I got a driving license, and then I started getting into cars. So then all my money was piled into cars and going to car shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I didn't buy anything of note for about 15 years or so. So I had a massive gap. So my collection is probably in the last 18 months.
Okay.
It's hugely grown in the last 18 months.
Yeah.
It just happened to be that I've become a little bit more like financially secure and stuff like that. So I've been able to spend my money on other stuff like that. Plus, I don't do cars anymore. So
it's a slightly cheaper hobby.
Oh yes. Well, you say that. It's,
that's true. That's very
not much
true.
cheaper, unfortunately.
That's very true. No, it's I think you've come back into it just at the moment when the hype is at an all-time crazy high, I think. Yeah. It's funny, and I think it is the last 18 months where it's just gone through the roof, or at least for the shoe brands that we tend to gravitate towards, I'd say.
Yeah, I like to. I have stuff that a lot of people like, but then I have a lot of stuff that doesn't get any recognition and nobody likes. I like to be a little bit different with my with my choices. So I've got stuff that only I like. Really, I think a lot of people hate.
Well, I think that's you should
buy for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
What you like.
It's completely that. So I want to ask you then. So over the time period. Well, I suppose actually this is a two-part question for you. So of the ones that you have now, what's the most cherished shoe you think at the moment? And then if you think of all of the ones that you may have had over time, so you don't have to own them anymore because you've beaten them or whatever, and it can be the same shoe, what would be the most cherished shoe overall that you've had, do you think?
I've got a pair of Jordan 4s, the 30th anniversary of the laser etched ones, the white ones.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were from 2015, but obviously I wasn't around buying them, so obviously I got on resale. But when I got them delivered, they'd obviously been sitting on the shelf for 5 years because I opened the box and God, they smell musty. They've just not seen the light of day for 5 years. So straight on the feet, and I love those so much because I'm just using them for what they were designed to be done. It's just, I think it's sort of liberating that someone had these on the shelf and didn't do anything with them, and now I've just put them on the feet and just using them and not trashing them, but wearing them for what they were designed to be used for. Which is what I do with all my shoes. I don't buy any shoes that I'm not going to wear. I've got some decent stuff, but I don't mind if it gets a little bit beaten at all.
So have you worn everything that you've bought then over that time? Because I see you've bought some fire shoes for sure, and you've worn them all. Pretty much,
yeah. I've probably got about 20 pairs I haven't worn yet, and that's not because I'm not going to wear them.
Come on.
20 unworn pairs is quite a few.
Yeah, I think only because of the rate I was buying them, I haven't had a chance to wear them yet.
But
yeah, they're definitely going to get worn. Definitely going to get worn. I have a few that I keep coming back to that I think, I'll wear something new today, and then it's like, no, but I really like this one, so I just keep putting that one back on. I think one of them is the GT Blazer, because I'm desperate to wear the paint out on that.
I think it's going to be a while till they wear out.
Yeah, very much so. I've been wearing them to work and jumping up and down on the forklift and moving pallets with them. So hoping that the pallets will wear them out and stuff like
that. And is it?
A little bit, yeah. A little bit. Yeah. I had a week in Cornwall last year, and I took those and a few other pairs, and because the weather was rubbish, I ended up just wearing these all week, and they're so comfy. So comfy.
Oh, definitely. And they survive so much, like that from...
I mean, mine have been worn a lot, and they're still so good. The condition is good.
And the leather has gone nice and soft on them as well. Yeah. They're just really nice.
Yeah,
really nice.
I'm kind of gutted I don't have them.
Well, you have the dunks, which
I know.
You got
nice.
I know, but it's I kind of like, I see, like, because I'm really into that GT Blazer, that silhouette, and once you wear them in, irrespective, I think, of whether they're the leather ones or the suede ones, they are super comfy.
Yeah,
they are, yeah. Controversial for me, though. I think they're comfier than Dunks Blazers. I
think I don't know if you joined us on Wednesday when I was having to defend the Dunk.
I know, yeah. Everyone just blazed in on Blazers.
Everyone piled in with no. Blazers are better than Dunks. I was like, what? Come on, people! You're all supposed to be Dunk people.
They're just very different sneakers.
Yeah, very different. I mean, I've got a pair of the Oski Blazers, and the lining, that leather lining on those Blazers is just superb.
Oh, completely. They remind me, like, that leather reminds me of glove leather, if you know what I mean. Or I want, like, so I'm going to pull this back to cars. It's like an old cherished leather seat in a car. Like, I'm like, all right, I might have gone too far with that, but okay.
It does. It smells. It's got like you get a lot of these synthetic leather trainers, and they just don't have that smell. But that Blazer, you can smell the leather from them.
Yep, definitely.
And I still haven't worn mine.
Oh, they're great. They're
I know. Good. I need to do it.
You do need to do it. We need to go for a walk. That's about all we can do at the moment.
Well, I must admit I'm wearing more now because I'm walking the dogs on the path and everything, so I'm able to wear stuff rather than having to wear wellies to walk them.
Hey, a welly or a good duck boot is an investment for life.
Very much so, yeah.
Yeah,
with you on that one.
Yeah, the duck boots are probably the best sneaker investment I've ever made.
Yeah, completely. It's so surprising.
My wellies are the heaviest worn pairs of shoes I have.
Yeah, I can well believe it. Dogs definitely make that a thing. Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Yes. So it's funny that you then mention, like, you think controversially that potentially a Blazer is more comfortable than a Dunk. So, and I think, right, so in your opinion then, so if you think that, what do you think is the most underrated shoe at the moment in your mind? And it can be anything.
Good question. I've got some Asics gel light 3s, which are amazing. Really, really nice. I think I've got the 30th anniversary meter ones, the ones with the red toe and the white. The rest is white.
Yep.
They are unbelievable quality. Really, really good. I don't think Asics get the recognition that they sort of deserve at the moment.
No, I think you're right. Yeah, obviously Nike and Adidas have got between them just short of 20% of the market, and then it's distributed amongst a whole bunch of people. I've got to admit, I only really wear Asics for running. In fact, that's all I do. And to be honest, I wouldn't run in anything else.
No, I wouldn't either.
I don't find Nike shoes comfortable for running. I don't find they give me the right support. Whereas as soon as I slipped on a pair of Asics, and I think they're I can't remember what they are. Anyway, they're a few years old. They've done a fair few miles. I won't wear anything else.
No, the Asics stuff is top notch. It really is, but they're starting to pick up. They're getting some decent collabs, and it's just their quality is good. I mean, you get a Nike, and you've got like glue stains on it and mismatched painting on it.
Completely.
You don't really get that with the Asics or New Balance as well. New Balance stuff is really, really good.
Well, that's like at some point this year, I will buy New Balance.
I dipped my toe this week in some New Balance, and I shall be purchasing some more, I think.
So what'd you pick up?
Well, I picked up some of the 574s.
Okay.
Purely on size, because I wasn't sure how good what their sizing is like.
Yeah.
I think they were only like £75.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to see how they were for size wise, and so I know the sizing now, and so I shall be maybe looking at the made in USA, made in England stuff now.
And how was the size then? Is it like for your feet? Do you feel that they're reasonably true to size?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, it's just they do. So for some reason, New Balance, they go up to size 12, and then it's 12 and a half, 13 and a half. There's no 13. Weird. Yeah, it's just really weird. So a 13 and a half UK is a US 14. I'm predominantly US 14 in all my shoes. So, but I have heard that you can size down on some models of New Balance as well.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can't get to try them on in shops. It does make it difficult sometimes.
Especially now, I suppose, with just getting stuff and sending back. I know the post office is open, but I'm pretty sure the police around here would question whether that was really is this a really necessary trip? I'm like, I've got to send these back.
Yeah. The most important thing, the shoes are massively important. We know that.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny, you know. It sometimes puts it into perspective, but it's you know, I think when you look at those made in the USA and made in England ones, because the price point is over. I've said this a few times. Because the price point is over a certain point, it just makes me kind of hesitate to pull the trigger. Yeah,
I know what you mean. Definitely know what you mean.
But so I suppose, you know, I'm gonna throw this over to SJ because I'm hogging. I'm hogging the mic.
So we talked about the most underrated sneaker profile that you think there is at the moment. What do you think is the most hyped sneaker that we know about, and also the most hyped one that you're looking forward to release wise?
I mean, this time of you're looking at Dunks, aren't you? They're the most hyped sneaker at the moment. Unfortunately for us.
Yes.
I know not many people like it, but the Yeezys are still hype stuff out there.
So do you like the Yeezy?
Do I like Yeezys?
Yeah.
If I'm being completely honest, it may be a pair of Yeezys that brought me back into buying trainers.
Really?
Really, yeah.
Oh, my word.
I know. I don't think many people that listen to Pint of Stuff actually like Yeezys.
I think
there's a couple. I think.
There's a few, and like a lot of the people I know really, really like Yeezys.
Yeah, so it was. I remember seeing. I think it was a 350. It might have been the Turtle Doves or something like that. Or maybe the Zebras in the 350. It might have been a V2. And I just saw those and I thought, oh, they look nice. And then I started looking into the old sneaker game again. And so I do have a few pairs of Yeezys, I must admit.
So then I'm gonna let you ask the follow-up question to that, because we were discussing Yeezys last night because
I know somebody that has several pairs and really likes them, but he says they're really, really uncomfortable. And that's, I've heard that a lot from people that wear either Yeezys or Boosts, that where they say they like them, but actually they're not as comfortable as you'd think they are, which I thought was quite interesting. So what's your opinion on the comfort level?
So the 700s, I would say, are the most comfortable of his line. They are a comfortable sneaker. The 350s, they have a weird toe box shape, so it goes to a point. So after a good few hours wearing a 350, it does start to hurt a little bit. Just sort of pinches the little toe. It's it just pinches you, and it just feels a bit uncomfortable. And then the 500s, for some reason, the 500s have got like a really, really shallow toe box. So it feels like your toes are getting squashed a little bit. So I tend not to wear too many of those. But for me, Yeezy is a bit of a double-edged sword. I love the colorways and I love the look of them.
Mm-hmm.
But then the people or the demographic that they go out to, they're just everywhere now, and they're not becoming the special sneaker that they used to be. They're easy to get hold of, really. Which is what he wanted. It was his outset all along, was he wanted everyone to be able to get Yeezys, so it's working. But if I wanted to wear a nice pair, if I went out and wanted to wear a nice pair, it wouldn't be a pair of Yeezys I put on. It would be a pair of Jordans or some Off-Whites or something like that.
And so, what Jordan shape would it be for you?
Jordan 1s, Jordan 1s and Jordan 4s are my favourite.
Has to be the Jordan 1.
Yeah. It's always a Jordan 1.
It has to be the one. I've got quite a few 1s and a few 4s. But for me, they're my favourite Jordans. And the low top as well. I know SJ hates the low tops.
I don't hate it. It's grown on me. I don't know. It's just some of them just, again, we say it all the time. It's just the way that they're pictured. It just doesn't really do any of the sneakers any justice. So until you actually see them, it's really, really hard to tell. But I personally wouldn't buy a Jordan 1 low for me because I just don't think it would suit me.
I don't know. I think it would. I love them, and I think that's more because they look like a dunk low to me.
Yes, they do. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've got a pair of the Travis Scott lows.
Oh, really?
And against the normal low, it's a different cut completely for the Travis Scott.
Really?
Yeah, it's very different. Very different. I'll have to put a picture up, but
you should do.
The cut in the silhouette is extremely different between the Travis Scott and every other Jordan 1.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't even appreciate that.
It's a lot more. It looks narrower as well. The Travis Scott one does.
You should definitely put a picture up then, because that'd be really interesting to see on Instagram. If we could see that, I hadn't appreciated. I love the way those Travis ones look. Like, I know it's it's so obvious, but just to reverse the swoosh. It's just like, yes.
And I prefer the colourway of the lows to the highs. I like the black blocking on it rather than the white.
Yeah.
Yeah, agree.
For sure.
And although one of my biggest regrets, I did have the Travis Scott highs, and I sold them.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Biggest mistake I've ever made, that was. And that put me off reselling any sneaker now. I won't resell a sneaker.
Well, was that because it was a bad experience, or just because you really wish you'd kept hold of them?
Really wish I kept hold of them. I shouldn't have sold them.
Did you use one of the reset? Right.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. StockX is where is what I use for them. But I think at the time we were going on holiday, and possibly I might needed some cash, and that was it. No. Still, however, when did they come out? Is it a good while ago now, and I still regret it.
Yeah.
What, 8 months ago? Last summer?
Really?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
And so Val, that was it. Like, never resell a sneaker again. Never again.
But would you buy?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have done. Yeah, I mean, because like Strix was saying in his podcast, I've had the break and look back through the back catalogue of Nike and Adidas, and there's just so much stuff that I've missed, and I've bought quite a load of books and gone back and read like history of how these sneakers came about. And I think that's one reason why I love the Dunk, is because it's not just the silhouette and the colours of it, it's the backstory with it and how that's actually come about. I think that for me, that is more intriguing than the actual shoe itself.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there.
No other silhouette has that sort of unique selling point. They just seem to have, every single pair has something behind it, has a story behind it, or whoever's designed it has got a reason for doing all of that design. But
then that's the same with most of the SB drops, not just the Dunk, and that's again why I just like the brand and what they do. Yeah,
I'd agree with you there, SJ. I think the Dunk has more stories for sure. But I think I've said this before. I think I'm just getting old, because the silhouette is for me the perfect silhouette. I love the way it looks. I hope they don't mess around with it too much. I know that they messed around with it when they went through the elite phase. They kind of
it's more like a Jordan though.
Yeah, they kind of, they removed a lot of the padding. I don't know, it just felt a stiffer shoe, and I'm glad they're back to using more premium materials as well. Like probably, I don't know, around 2014, 15 and 16, the materials on a lot of them weren't great. Like the shoes look good, but the materials weren't that great on some of the more, at least the GRs. Although I will be going back and looking at the reverse sharks again today, because someone suggested it wasn't chili red on YouTube, and I'm like, I swear that's red. But anyway. So I think, so you've used StockX, and for you that was a painless process?
Yeah, I never had any problems with it whatsoever. No, none at all. I've used Goat once, and I wouldn't use Goat again because they're not particularly transparent with their import and taxes that we have to pay. So I bought one pair off Goat. I think it might have been an Air Max 1 Tokyo Maze. And then got hit with a huge import bill before they were delivered. And I was like, whoa. Yeah. Okay.
That I have to say, that's the best thing about StockX. If you're outside of the US for sure, is that they do calculate those fees. And I totally agree with you with Goat. That's what Goat needs to do. Like, I don't mind paying. I just need to know what I'm going to pay.
Yeah, and I sort of set a limit on StockX as well. So I don't go silly and pay. I don't think I paid more than £250 for a pair of sneakers at all.
Lots of people would say that was silly.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if you look at it, certain stuff that is for a collector, you possibly should be in the collection, like breads and stuff like that. You're looking at £300-400, and I'm not paying that much. No way, not at all.
So in your current collection, what are like the top 3 missing pairs of sneakers that you've got your eye on to add to that collection?
I mean, there's the Strangelove Dunks. I love those so much, and miss those. I really missed out on those, but unfortunately the price is silly. So obviously I love the breads. So I'm hoping that the Jordan brand do bring out the bread again, because I'd love to get a pair of breads, Jordan 1s. But that's about it, really.
That's not bad.
It's not too bad, no. I mean, the Travis Scott Air Force Ones I really liked, but I'm got to the stage where now if I miss it at retail, in reality, it's a really hype sneaker. It's going to be costing too much at resale, so just let it go.
Yeah, exactly.
Completely.
Just let it go.
It's just so depressing when you see them all being listed before you've even had a chance to find out you've got the L.
That's true. Yeah. Straight on StockX or eBay as well.
It's just like, no. Like, even looking on eBay recently, some of the prices are just like, I just can't get my head around it.
Well, I did after listening to I think it was Levi's podcast, and I went onto eBay because he's obviously always checking eBay for the dunks, and so I went on there and I was just like, I hadn't really thought of eBay because I thought you're just going to be buying fakes. It's going to be a hotbed of fakes on eBay. But no, I went on and I did pick a pair up from eBay last week, which I was quite pleased with, and good value as well. So a pair of Gasparellas.
Okay.
For £65. So I thought that's worth a punt.
Yeah, definitely. No, I was looking on there this morning and I found a pair of random blazers from '08, but they're BMX blazers. I think they were for the Olympics, and they're at a sensible price at the moment, and I'm kind of umming and ahhing at the moment on those. But I don't know. There's just something about. I know everyone says I shouldn't worry about it so much, but like you said at the start, there's eBay. Just to me, is like, are these real?
Yeah. I mean, StockX has the authentication stuff that it goes through. Whether it does or whether it doesn't, I don't know. But exactly. In our heads, it's gone through that.
Yeah, completely.
And you can never guarantee it's going to be real, even if it has gone through StockX. But the amount of people that are going to look at your shoe that closely and think they're fakes, they are, unless it's completely obvious. I'm not too bothered. I'm pretty confident that the 99% confident that most of the stuff I've got is real.
Yeah.
I haven't really bought anything on StockX that has been massively hyped and readily faked anyway. So
okay.
Well, it was actually interesting. A work colleague went to China actually before Christmas, and he did go into one of the stores that sold fake shoes, but he said that they treated like the Off-Whites and the Sakai stuff as like they were real and like they were behind counters and everything. And he actually asked them if they had any dunks because he wanted to buy another pair of. So he's got a pair of the Para dunks, but he wanted to buy another pair to save his real ones. And they actually said to him that they don't do fake dunks, which I thought was quite interesting. But he did pick up a pair of Sakai waffles.
Oh, so bad. I know so bad, SJ.
But you wouldn't have been able to tell the difference. You really wouldn't.
Yeah, but I know. The thing is,
I personally wouldn't. But I just thought it was interesting they said that to him.
I think a lot of the fakes are made in the same factories that the real ones are made in anyway.
Yeah, apparently, but yeah, who knows?
I don't know. It's more knowing that they're they're not genuine. I don't know. Yeah. It's like if I don't know, I don't mind. But it's the I don't know. It's just the not knowing. I'm sorry. As soon as I know, then that kind of it takes the sheen off them.
Yeah, completely taints them a little bit.
Exactly.
Whereas, like, okay, maybe the ones I bought off StockX possibly could be fakes, but for me, no one's going to say they tell me that they're fake. So
yeah,
it's fine for me. I'm okay with that.
It's
and I haven't bought that many, to be fair, out as a collection. Not as a percentage. There's a very small percentage that I bought off StockX.
Same here. It's it may be one or two pairs a year, if that. I'm trying to think. I think I bought 2 pairs last year. Yeah, I think it's 1 or 2 pairs a year.
Yeah, I think I've bought possibly one this year, 1 pair this year. I go on and have a look at what the sort of the resale values of them, but that's about it really.
Yeah, it's I browse and I'm like, oh, I wonder if
when we win the lottery.
So when we win the lottery, and I'll have a 5 minutes, just a quick. Well, I'll have that one, and I'll have that one, and look, that's 30 grand. But if I've won 50 odd million, That's not that
30 grand, yeah.
That's not that bad. I can afford it just about. Yeah.
It normally happens. I go on StockX when I've when I've been on the stream or you've watched the video and I think, someone's mentioned those. I'll go and have a look at those, see what they're like, and they're not too bad a value. But the thing I have is again with size. Some of the older stuff they just don't do in my size. So there's none of what I really wanted in my size available anyway. So have to wait for the next retail drop. Because there's always something,
and that's the thing. That is definitely the thing. That there is always something coming. There's always, if we hadn't had this corona virus thing that's going on at the moment, there would be so much in the next few weeks for sure. And it would be, to be fair, it's saving my wallet somewhat at the moment, with all of the not so many releases coming. But then the ones, the ones that are coming are harder to get. But yeah. So is there anything in the next few weeks you're definitely going to try and grab?
I don't know in the next few weeks, but there's definitely those Ben and Jerry dunks, the chunky donkeys.
Yeah,
they're definitely on my horizon. Definitely looking at those.
Yeah, I think they're going to be super hyped.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, even the GRs are super hyped. I mean, I was so lucky to get those Blue Furies.
Oh, gutted. That's the problem. Go on.
Just flukes. I was just quiet time at work and I was on the Nike website. I was like, well, there they are in my size. Let's buy them. And then I dropped you the message. Went back on and they just sold out completely. So right time, right place on that one.
Yeah, I wonder if we just have to be on the Nike website at 9 to 9:30 every morning.
I think it's before that, really, isn't it? You need to be on it from 8.
From 8, do you reckon?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was just thinking maybe I'll just move all my morning meetings to the afternoon.
Yeah. I mean, for drops, I don't see anything until a couple of weeks before it releases, and I haven't really seen anything recently that apart from those dunks that I'm thinking, and the Kevin Bradley Blazers, red ones.
They are so nice.
Yeah, they are nice. I really want the lows as well.
Yep. I want both.
Not sure on the Velcro straps for me.
I know you all don't believe me. You all don't believe me on Velcro straps, but I'm telling you, it's the future.
No, my brother had a pair of Stan Smith with the Velcro straps, and they just looked awful.
No, they
were terrible.
No, right, I'm gonna dig mine out.
We'll bring them on the
stream. Bring them on the stream. I still love them.
It's funny. No, I know most people would say that that straps aren't a great thing, but trust me, everyone, if you listen to this or watching this on YouTube, straps on blazers, they just work really well. They do. I won't be told on this.
I get the strap on the dunk mid. I quite like. I mean, I picked up the first pair of mids ever last week. So the strap on that looks good. I'm not too sure on the blazer straps.
So and just remind us what those mids were.
The Griffiths.
Yeah, they're very nice, aren't they?
Really nice. Yeah. And a pair I picked up that I instantly fell in love with as soon as I opened the box was the Spiridons, the Stussy Spiridons in the fossil colourway.
Yeah, I've seen some other pictures of those today, like some real close-up pictures of the materials. They look nice, are they?
They're beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, yeah. Love those.
Some people are saying that they might be one of the unsung sneakers of the year. I read, I think Sneaker Freaker Mag was talking about it on Twitter today, which is where I saw those pictures, and I was like, I didn't overly love them when I saw the Nike pictures, but the close-up shots of the materials, they look amazing.
They do, and when you get a pair of shoes and you open the box, and as soon as you open the box, you think, "Oh, I love these so much."
Yes,
that was it. That was as soon as I opened a box of those, it was these are great. These are absolutely stunning.
It's amazing. So I suppose for you then, now's the time to wear them when you can only walk on the pavement.
That's it. Yeah, very much so.
And the sun's out.
And the sun's out.
Yeah.
I'm assuming the sun's out up in your part of the UK.
It definitely is. Yes. Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been yesterday was great, and when we'll be back outside this afternoon in our yard, where I'm expecting to take more pictures of sneakers.
Yeah, that's sad as it sounds. That's what I've been doing, just going outside, and I can wear these outside. I've got to go outside, so just put a pair of sneakers on for that.
Exactly.
So going back to the resale market, and I know that you spent sort of $250 you mentioned. So is that your most extravagant sneaker / clothing purchase ever?
It is, yeah. I don't. I mean, you hear stories of people spending thousands on resale and sneakers, but yeah, 250. I think it was £258, and it was a pair of Jordan 11 Concords.
Okay.
So,
yeah. I could see that. So what's that? That's close to what, $275, maybe a little bit more for our US listeners.
More at the moment with the exchange.
Oh yeah, obviously the pound is doing terribly at the moment.
Yeah.
Yes, but yes. So that's actually quite restrained as well. I think I like the fact that you set a limit there. You're like, right, that's it. I am not going over this because there's so much that you could go and buy.
There is, yeah. There is. And you can go back in the history, and it's all there on StockX to pretty much buy. But you get to a point where you think you're just going to be spending so much money. So
yes, completely.
At the end of the day, they are only sneakers, and you don't want to be spending all of your money on them.
That's true. It's funny you say that, because I don't know what it is. Like I tell myself that all the time, and then when I fail to pick one up, there's like a 5 to 10 minutes
drop on
where I'm not a pleasant person to be around. I'm just like, oh, I really wanted those.
I completely understand. I get that as well, because I get a little bit like that. It's, the internet's crashing. Why isn't this site working? They're all gone now. Nightmare. It's like the end of the world. And 15 minutes later, you've forgotten about them, and it's like, whatever.
So, is your issue with Nike resolved? Because
explain what the issue was for people who don't join Sneaker Streaming Sundays on YouTube.
So it was a Sunday, and they were dropping some Chicago. I think it was the weekend of the All-Star weekend, and they were dropping a load of Chicago collab stuff, like hoodies and clothes, and a few. I think it was a pair of Jordan 10s, and I liked the Jordan 10s, and I liked a few of the hoodies. So when they dropped, I was quick and selected all three, and was put in the queue and got a hoodie, and didn't get the other two, and then didn't think anything of it. And then next time I went on to try and buy something, none of my payments worked, or the PayPal wouldn't work, none of the credit cards would work, my debit card wouldn't work, nothing worked at all. So I kept on getting an error message, so I emailed Nike, and they came back to me, and they said it was something along the lines of there were multiple, they assumed there were multiple users in my address. So I actually think they think I was a bot.
Really?
So they basically sort of banned my account I couldn't purchase anything from Nike for about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. Nothing worked at all. And then all of a sudden, I just happened to do, I think it was the MX-90s, the City Pack.
Yeah.
And I ordered that, and then it just went through. My account was working again.
See, this is really interesting, because I've had a similar thing over the past couple of months. It wouldn't accept my credit card for whatever reason, so I tried paying with PayPal. And yesterday there was a pair on sale, because they've got that extra 30% off at the moment, and I was trying to buy them again credit card. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that credit card. Will not work. Tried PayPal, wouldn't work. Tried my own bank card, wouldn't work. It just gave me this error number, and now I've got to phone Nike.
Yeah, and I think it's it must be some of their software that are using to sort of try and eliminate bots buying everything, but it's sort of cutting out people that aren't bots and who only ever use like manual purchases, not bots.
Yeah. I think I'm going to have to phone them now after you've just said that, because that must be the issue, exactly the same issue I've got then. Because every time there's a draw, it just tells me that my card hasn't timed out or whatever. It's just really weird.
That is odd.
Because I want those Milan mids,
which are lovely.
Oh, so lovely! And I was like, oh, great! The situation's resolved. So I did it in the morning. It said I'd got them. And then I went out for a ride on the bike and came back and I'd seen that the order had been cancelled. And I was like, why? So I was a little bit angry. And that was when I was like, right, never buying Nike again. And that's when I started buying Asics and New Balance. And I was like, the problem is Nike dropped so many good things that you can't not buy Nike, unfortunately.
Exactly. No, it's interesting that you say that there might be multiple people at that address. Like, what happens if there is two people who live at an address that do buy from the night? Like, how does that work?
I don't know, but I had my billing address was my home address, but I used to get everything shipped to work.
Same here.
Purely for the fact that my partner was seeing a lot of boxes being delivered, and she said to me one day, "So if you have anything else delivered here, I'm going to burn it." So I was like, right, I'll get them delivered to work then.
Amazing. That's amazing.
She doesn't have the respect for the shoes that I do, unfortunately.
Yeah, I to be honest though, I think lots of people don't quite understand the passion, obsession, or whatever you want to call it, that we all have for shoes. So it's understandable, I think.
Yeah.
I suppose you could say to well, it's not cars anymore.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. I mean, I don't know how many times she's been in the room, but she did come into the room once and just looked and just went, "Good grief!" when she looked at them all. I was like, surely you knew how many there were.
Yeah. So have yours? Are yours in the same room now? Your shoes, or have they spilled over?
No, they are in the same room still. They're in the one of the spare rooms. I say it's not a spare room anymore. I have said to her, I said, I think I'm going to get rid of the bed out of there because running out of room.
Yeah, that's funny.
But I started using the drop-down boxes because I was sick of always having to dig a box out from the bottom of the pile.
Yeah.
But I sort of worked out that to house all of the sneakers in drop-downs, it was going to cost a fortune.
Yes.
So I gave up on that idea.
Completely. It's like every time you buy a pair of shoes, you have to buy a drop-down as well.
Yeah. And it would just become more expensive, and I'd rather spend the money on the shoes rather than the boxes.
Yeah. Exactly. I thought about it many times. But I also don't want to get rid of the cardboard box.
No, I like to keep them their original box.
And so where do you put that?
I threw my cardboard boxes away.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, a little.
I had a plan. So I've got about 36 of the drop-down boxes, and I thought, right, the sneakers that are going in those boxes are the sneakers that are in boxes that are completely ruined. So get rid of all the rubbish cardboard boxes and house the sneakers in the containers. So then I only threw away boxes that were battered and rubbish anyway.
Okay. No, I just at that moment a little piece of me died inside. It was funny. It was like, no.
Well, I have sold some of them on eBay. Just I didn't wear. There was sort of stuff I got in sales early on in the collection, and I was never going to wear them, so I had to sell them on eBay about boxes. So I didn't get the value that I could have done. But
that's one of those things. It's funny. It's just that they do take up so much room.
They do, do, but it's just easy to keep them in the box.
Oh, completely. Like, I don't know, actually, if we didn't have the boxes,
it would be a mess.
Where would they go? Because they all stack. We have one room which has got like a shelving unit that we got from IKEA that stacks to the ceiling. But now they've moved rooms now. There's an overflow.
Yeah. I mean, I've contemplated just converting the loft into a storage room for them.
At some point in a few years, you know that you'll probably have to do that. And you'll be like,
Yeah, they do take up a lot of room.
They do, definitely. And someone said to me, goes, well, when are you going to stop? And you get to the point where you think, well, I'm not going to stop because there's always something coming out that I'm going to want.
Yep.
So they said, well, are you going to sell what you don't wear? And it's like, well, no, because I'm going to wear what I've got. It will come to a point where you're going to have to reduce what you've got, because you can't physically. I mean, I've got way too many, and I've got enough to nearly wear a pair every day of the year. And it just comes to a point where you just think this is way too many.
I think I think we touched on it a little bit with Strix last week on the podcast. It's like we need to curate the collections a little bit more, because there's always shoes that we regret buying.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, actually, that's a good question. So, what's the one you really regret?
I bought a pair of Air Max 720s.
Okay.
Horrible shoe. Awful. Weird shoe. I mean, they looked all right in pictures when they came out, and I saw some in the shops on the shelf, and I thought they don't look too bad. And then I bought a pair, and they came, and obviously a size 13 in an Air Max 720 is the size of a boat. It is enormous.
You could float in there.
You could float in them, and it probably put another 4 inches on me as well in height. So I'm 6'6" as it is. So
wow,
it was huge. It was huge. And they were just. I wore them 3 times and I thought, these are horrible. I've got to get rid of these.
Did they make you walk funny? Because I tried them on and they, I don't know, they just felt weird to me. Like I felt like I couldn't walk in them properly. Yeah,
they got a bizarre heel on them because the heel sticks out so much at the back. It was, and they weren't very comfortable at all. So, that was definitely one that I shouldn't have bought. And that's the problem I have with Nike. Is a lot of the new silhouettes are just, I don't feel them at all.
Snap.
I think, I'm not sure who I said this. I think what they're looking for is they're looking for the next classic silhouette. And so it's going to take, if you think about all the silhouettes through the years, they have made many shoes, and not all of them make it. And I think that they're just trying to find what it is, like the next classic. And I think they're just going to go through all kinds of weird and wonderful iterations. The other thing, though, I hate to say this, I wonder if it's because we're getting old.
Yeah, possibly.
I don't know. Like I like the look. I like to experiment with stuff, but in the end, I go back to what I love and I know.
But it's not. Yeah. It's not just loving and knowing it. Let's be honest. They are classic shapes, and I think that's the thing. They are like a dunk and a blazer. Are just classic. And have been for quite some time now. And I think that's the thing. And there just hasn't been, for me, from Nike anyway, another sneaker that, apart from the Jordan 1, that's going to have that same longevity. Well, the Air Max has, obviously, but I just don't like it as much.
What we even think about like an Air Max 1, like when did they come out?
It's over 30 years, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. So it's taken
Exactly. It's 30 years. And you look at the 720, that's not a classic design.
Not at all. I'm just looking in my collection at the moment, and I'm throughout all the Nikes. I think I've got 3 pairs that have probably been made in the last 5 years. That's it.
And what are they?
Element 55s.
Yep.
I've got a pair of Nike running shoes, the Odyssey Reacts and the Presto React.
Okay.
But then the Presto is quite an old.
But the React.
But the React, yeah.
That's interesting.
Whereas I with Adidas, I don't mind buying the new Adidas stuff. So, I mean, I've got obviously the classic Adidases, but I've got Ultra Boost and NMDs. I think Adidas do the modern stuff better than Nike.
I wonder. It's more because I don't feel Adidas that much.
He that's been loving his nizzers.
But they're from 1970 something.
As I say, they're an obsolete as well. Yeah.
They're from the 70s. True. This might actually this is a thing.
That may say a lot.
Yeah, it does say a lot. I don't know. Like I suppose I just struggled with Ultra Boost and the NMDs. I never felt them as a shoe. It's like we asked Strix last week just about Boost, because I have one pair, and are they really that comfy? And I suppose it's just that's why I asked it. I suppose I'll ask you: do you find them as comfy as, I don't know, Air?
They're nothing special. I don't think they don't. I don't think they deserve the hype that they get. If you put Nike's React against Adidas's Boost, the React is a far superior cushioning technology than the Boost. Far superior, and the React is far comfier. I still like it's real soft, the Boost is, and I quite like that though.
Sorry, I think Huxley's decided that he's going to go in a.
I just wonder if there's somebody.
If there's someone at our door. No, there isn't. He's just decided to bark away in the background.
I did have one of mine in here, but he decided to disappear.
I'm assuming you heard him then. Just keeping the world at bay. He is.
Yeah, they like doing that.
They definitely do. He's I don't know. He's the thing is, I swear, if somebody came in, he would just roll over and just ask for belly rubs. It's
oh yeah, exactly. Mine would just lick him to death.
Yes.
One of mine just his tail never stops wagging even when he's barking at you.
That's so funny. We just need to do a spaniel podcast as well, I think.
Yeah, that would be good.
That'd be funny.
So you said that you wear all of your sneakers, pretty much all of them, apart from those 20. Is there one particular pair that you've worn too much that you kind of regret wearing a bit too much?
I had a pair of, and this was back before, and I've only just killed them off, but it was a pair of Adidas Titans, like an real old retro spike light. It looked like a spike trainer without the spikes.
Okay.
And I love those. They were really comfy, and I can't find another pair anywhere, and I'm gutted that I've destroyed those. Really gutted, because they were nice.
It's that's interesting. But the thing is, then you've done with them what they were designed for.
Yeah, but I threw mine away, whereas you don't throw yours away, do you?
I don't. I can't do it. I've even with holes in the sole, I'm still like, and it's not a weird hoarding thing. Just in case anyone out there who's listening think it's a weird hoarding thing, it's just like I still have the boxes and they still hold certain memories, and in my mind, in some way, I'm going to be able to resurrect them. I have no idea how. I tried it with a pair of I've got these wolf grey ones, which have got they're dunks, and they've got more of a
nylon-ish,
a nylon toe box. And I tried to clean the suede up like mad, And in my mind, I bought the suede rubber thing.
Yeah, to be fair, you didn't do a bad job.
But they still didn't look the way I thought what I was going to do. I'd watched so many cleaning videos on YouTube of just like, oh, look, you just do this. 5 minutes later, bada, bing. And so in my mind, that's what I'm doing. But they also, like, I just pull them out. Like yesterday, I was wearing the Dunk
Passport.
The British passport, which is it's a blue box. I think it's from 2011. And I slipped them on and I'd forgotten how comfortable they were. They felt like slippers because I'd worn them so much at the time that my foot just slipped in. And it was so nice. But then I was like, oh, I really wish I had a pair of these in mint condition.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's what I like. That's why I love listening to you guys, and because obviously you've been in it for a while, and you have that history behind you. Whereas I'm sort of coming into it. Admittedly, I've been into it for a while, but I don't have the history, and I haven't stood outside a skate shop or a shop and queued for trainers for sneakers. So I sort of not regret, but I really wish I'd had the opportunity to do stuff like that.
I think though, to be fair, it doesn't matter whether you're coming in now, you were an OG. Like for a long, long time, we didn't buy lots of shoes. I didn't really think I was into shoes. It just then dawned on me that, wow, that's actually a lot of pairs. And most people don't keep the boxes and most people don't buy the same sneaker.
I think it was kind of when we went to move to the US. That's when we sort of really noticed it. Because we weren't doing videos at that point.
No.
And the guys came round to like do the assessment on the house and look at what they've got to pack up. And they were like, are those all your shoes to me? And I'm like, no, they're not. The majority are his. And it was at that moment, it was like, we've collected a lot of sneakers.
Yeah. Didn't even intend to.
No.
Just, it was kind of like, it was just weird. And so, that's why it was great talking to Levi, just because, he's obviously been in the game on and off for a long time. Same with the Annex guys, they've been in and out of the game for a long time. But I think everyone just brings a different thing. And a different point of view. And I think the other thing that I've noticed is everyone's just really accepting of everyone. Like the thing we've all got in common, doesn't matter where we are in the world, is we all kind of like shoes way too much, and we can appreciate them for what they are.
We've all got different tastes. So, and the amount of shoes that are out there, then you can't expect everyone to like the same stuff. I mean, I remember you've put a picture up of those. I think they were a pair of Adidas. Well, it was a pair of Adidas young ones, the leopard print ones. And SJ were like, "Oh, they're disgusting." I looked at those and I thought, I've got to buy those. So I've got a pair of leopard print young ones as well.
Amazing.
It's I've got those. Have you seen those Vans? I think it was the old school, the size and ones they've done in for the punk.
Which ones did you get?
It's the ones, the old school 36, I think they're called. But they're called the punk ones. So they've got the tartan panel on one side. They've got like a leopard print toe box and leopard print heel, and then pink leather on the other side. I had to buy those as well. So I mean, see, my collection is massively diverse. I love stuff that people would not expect to see me wearing.
That's amazing. That's amazing. It's and again, that's the best thing about this.
It's unpredictable.
Well, no, but like even the predictability of it, SJ, is a great thing. Is a great thing. That's what makes everybody different, and that's why that connects us all so much. Is because of like John does his thing, you got your thing going on. I'm doing whatever I do, and Levi's just got the most ridiculous collection in the world. But yeah, that's what I like, and that's what I like. When everyone comes in on Sunday, and they join the stream, and it's just like sometimes we turn up late. Sorry, people, and I look in the chat, and you're all in the chat already, and it's just like, oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, and then we always have little chats in the chat as well, whilst you're having your chat as well. So.
Exactly. It's good. It's good. So I just want to thank you for we've been talking for over an hour now.
Yeah, I can't believe it's over an hour.
I keep thinking, like, if we had the Sunday stream in a pub, we'd never ever leave that pub.
I know they would make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But no, it's great. So thanks for joining us.
Pleasure.
We'll drop a link to JDolan. Is it JDolan 79?
JDolan 1979.
1979. We'll drop a link to that in the description on YouTube and on your favorite podcast platform. So that'll be to people who are listening. I'm pointing on the camera. It must be weird for people who are listening when I'm sometimes talking to YouTube and sometimes doing the podcasting. But yeah, so thanks for joining us, everyone. We will be coming back at you next week with another guest. And so thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you very much.
We'll play the music.
Thanks for listening to Sneakers and Stories.
Right, so we that was supposed to end, but we've actually restarted the broadcast because I think John's got a question for us, and so fire away, and I'll see what we can do.
So, if you couldn't buy Nike or Nike SB or any Nikes, what would you buy?
For me, it would probably be Vans, I think, just because I do wear a lot of Vans. I haven't worn as many or haven't bought as many since we've been back in the UK. But I was kind of going through a period from about, 2013, probably buying a pair every couple of months, it felt like, and like really trashing them as well. So yeah, I do love my Vans.
Cool.
Well, now the obvious answer. So I can't buy Nike and I can't buy Nike SB because I was just like, oh, I could buy Jordan, but that doesn't count. That's cheating. No. So I would probably buy skate shoes still. I'd probably I'm not gonna do Vans or Converse. So I'd probably get either E America, which I don't know how to say. Or there's that brand again, I can't say it, but it's ES.
Yeah.
Probably one of those two. And I say that because I've got a pair of E-America. I think that's how you say it. It is E-America, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I've got a pair upstairs and I absolutely love them. I've worn them way too much. The suede on them is now a bit too rubbed up. But they, for me, are as comfortable and look as good as many of my SBs. So I'd probably do that. I probably wouldn't buy Adidas because I find them too narrow for my feet in general, apart from those Nissa or Nizza, I don't know how you say it, which I definitely am very, very surprised at those. I couldn't do Converse because they chop my ankles a bit too much. So that's what I'd buy. But that's a great question.
Not DC. My brother used to buy quite a few DCs.
You know what? So if this was 1995 or 98, maybe, because they were. But I don't think that they still look really chunky to me, like way chunky. And I think I don't know. I just, as much as I go on about Airwalk and buying them, I don't know whether I could. I don't know whether I could pull that look off anymore. I'd have to get some really baggy trousers. Really baggy trousers. But I have actually, and this is obviously a bonus to the podcast, I have one more question for you. Right?
Okay.
So imagine in a time period of in 3 to 6 months' time. I am not a government advisor, so I don't know the time period. What is going to be the first shoe that you wear when we exit lockdown?
Your coming out shoe.
Yeah, you're like, yo, we've got out of this.
Yeah, the party shoe.
Yeah.
I got a pair of Reebok Answer 5s that I would wear.
Okay, that's not what I was expecting you to say. So why would you wear them?
Because They're a Billionaires Boys Club collaboration ones, and they just look crazy. Blue and yellow. And they're just absolutely mental. And that would be what you'd have to wear. You just have to wear something that would just people look at and just laugh, because you've been cooped up for so long that people need a laugh now. So yeah, I'd wear those Fancy Fives.
I see. Now you've just made me thinking, like, so I hadn't thought about it as I need to make people laugh. So if I need to make people laugh, I'm wearing my clown shoes. I've got a human race. I think it's a human race trail shoe, which is red, blue, yellow, and white stripes. SJ just says they look like clown shoes on me.
I've got those fearless Jordans. They look like clown shoes as well. The shiny pattern leather ones.
Do they really?
Yeah, because they're bright red and bright blue. and they're a size 13, so they just look like a clown shoe. I still love them, but people call them a clown shoe.
That's funny. So everyone, that was a bit of bonus. So some bonus questions at the end of the podcast. So I'm going to press the button again just because I like pressing it. And we'll see you all on another podcast and video and all that stuff.
Thanks for listening to Sneakers and Stories.